A very warm welcome to the second session in the four-part series of Building My Business. Thanks, PK, yet again for graciously being here for the second time in the session. One was truly appreciated. I think lots of comments on the group also, and even one-on-one that I received, that people really found value in what they heard, and the numbers are already showing the interest in the topic. A little bit about PK. I'm not going to go in detail. We've done his intro. If you want to know more about PK, pknarayanan.com is the place to be. And PK is a CEO coach who coaches business owners, business leaders to scale up their business, enhance their leadership presence, and position their business for long-term success. He says his strengths are simplifying and focus. That we really saw how he broke down the complex responses into such simple, easy to understand ways and means that all of us really enjoyed and were able to grasp so much more in the last session. So what was the last session all about? In the last session, which we called Where Do I Play? We spoke about the difference between coaching and building the business of coaching. We debated, do you need to do training and consulting along with coaching for it to be sustainable? And there was a very resounding no from PK. He said, no, coaching is sustainable on its own. So we take that point. We also deliberated in terms of what attracts clients. How do we get our prospects interested in what we have to offer? How do we position ourselves? Do we need a niche? Do we don't need a niche? All of those things we spoke about. In today's session, we are going to be focusing about, we're calling it How Do I Play? Where we are going to be talking about how to step by step towards building our business, which is very important after doing all the groundwork we did in part one. So PK, if you would want to say hi before I start asking questions, and while you do that, I do have a few questions planned. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
I do have a few questions planned, but we will rely heavily on the questions that you have in order to build the kinds of businesses that you want to. So I'll be monitoring the text chat, feeding in PK with all the questions. Feel free to raise your hand to unmute and speak as and when I call on your names. So we'll keep it as interactive, as fluid as required. So my first question, PK, is what are the steps in building my business?
Wow, a simple question.
Yeah.
Yes, I think building a business of coaching is interesting. At the same time, it's very similar to building many other businesses. So many of us have not probably built businesses, rather we have moved from corporate life or whatever circumstances that we are in. So we will probably, I would answer you by, a step-by-step approach that we can take, 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of approach, which can be very well probably in a sequential way we can follow. A couple of disclaimers before that. One, this series is aimed at coaches setting up their own business, not for coaches operating through coaching platforms. So to that extent, it might not be relevant. And views shared here by me is purely personal, what I have seen in my own life, as well as what I have seen with others, not necessarily that of ICF or finalizing the positioning, Shanti, is the need for positioning. I think all of us who have not been part of the last session, probably the recordings are available. So, it is identifying and defining the prospects and the segments that I need to service as a coach. And we can also, we discussed last time that we can do some discovery sessions with people whom we trust, people who won't probably judge us, and going, sounding with them, bouncing it off them, saying that this is what I'm thinking, this is the prospects that I'm aiming for, and what is this looks like, yeah, and what is that, the fees that I'm proposing and things like that. So you can get some assumptions can be tested. You can test some business assumptions that you have put for yourself in the business, and sharpening the positions thereafter, and finalize the offering. Finalize the offering, when I say not coaching. Coaching is not an offering. We saw that last time. No one buys coaching. People are looking for solutions. So you need to position yourself and then finalize the offering. Once we have done that, we will can do. The second is to think and start working on differentiator. This should be a parallel process as we set up our business. We need to be thinking about our differentiator like any other business, our competitive advantage. What does it mean? It means that what they get from me that they are not likely to get from others. Yeah, what differentiates me? What differentiates my service to them? What is my uniqueness, my blessing? I was very surprised to hear you, Shanti, introducing me very quickly, which I appreciate. And you were saying that two things, that is my differentiator, actually. I don't know how you picked it up. And yeah, it is visibly there in the website. For that, I really acknowledge you for picking those two, simplifying and able to focus, manage the distractions. So this is the differentiator that I propose to my clients, that I am able to do that. I can focus very well. I can focus on, and I can also simplify, unpack complexities, and something that I'm blessed with. So I use it in my coaching practice. This is what I want each one of us to start thinking about. All of us are bestowed with, and all of us are blessed with a certain uniqueness that we need to bring to the business, and it needs to be part of the offering, And this differentiator is what is going to set us apart in the marketplace. We will discuss about that more in the session 3, how we do that. So differentiator, and I saw I think John in the chat, he had put a comment saying last time that Differentiate or Die, it's a book. So it's very, very important that we differentiate and keep differentiating as we move, like any other business. Because differentiator will remain differentiator for some time, but market will catch up, and then we need to further move on. So the areas that we choose to differentiate ourselves, we can go deeper and deeper to go higher and higher. When we go deep, we go high. So working on differentiator is something that I would absolutely encourage every one of us to do, and start documenting it. It will evolve. Don't worry. Today, you might identify something as a differentiator for you and keep working on it. It will probably evolve into something else. And one or two, we don't need a dozen or a dime for differentiating ourselves in the marketplace. One or two things are good enough to differentiate ourselves in the market. So keep working on it, keep sharpening it, keep moving on those, keep moving the needle on those on a daily basis. The third, I would say, is choosing a business name. When you need to do a business, you need to have a name. So we have a choice here. Either we can go with a business name which is neutral, or we can go in our own personal name. For example, I have gone with a personal name, pknarayan.com, and pknarayan is what I promote. For example, there are many coaches in the fraternity, but just to give an example, Subhash, for example, he has Regal Unlimited as the business name, and Subhash is the coach. So we would quickly see what are the criteria or what matters when we decide this. Coaching being more of an art, according to me, at that level, when you start a business. Personal name resonates well. The singers, the dancers, the artists, we know by their name. So coaches also can, like Marshall and others, famous coaches, personal name definitely resonates well and helps personal branding. This keeps things simple. We can worry about many things in the business and leave this simple, going by the personal name. So this is one path. I am not saying necessarily one is better than the other or one is more appropriate than the other. We need to figure it out. Now, the neutral name, a neutral name not related to, by what I mean by neutral name is that, by the way, Shanti, just want to make sure there are no AI bots in the meeting room, right? Is there any AI like seal or otter or any whales or dolphins in the participants? Shanti, can you just please confirm that?
Yeah, I can confirm. I don't see any
If
otters.
there are any, I request those people to disable it and log off any of the AI tools that are in the business.
Yeah.
Okay, no otters.
No otters.
Thank you. So neutral names for continuity, for building an institution and branding, as a neutral name is another option. We can have a business name for our practice, coaching practice. Here, a few things that we need to be seized of is that branding needs more effort, because we have to promote the firm name and the personal branding of the coach, because people relate with who does use the tool. We discussed this at length last time. Coaching is a tool, it's a method. So any buyer who is paying and buying it is definitely interested to know who is going to use the tool. So therefore, the personal branding, personal promotion is a must, whichever way you go, right? So a personal branding is any case required, and we need to promote the firm name also. So it will, in a way, engage us more in terms of marketing, in terms of promotion, etc., if you choose to go with a neutral name. And my personal view, coaching is predominantly personality driven. So the person needs to be seen and the person needs to be promoted in any case. So you can make a choice of firm name, business name, either a neutral name or a personal name. Now we come to the next item, which is the email ID. A formal email ID. Why a formal email ID? Or first of all, what is formal email ID? Formal email ID will read not Gmail or Hotmail or Outlook or something. It will read as our own firm name. For example, pk@pknarayanan.com. So pknarayanan.com is the formal email ID that I have. So why formal email ID I am stressing more is that it gives you an identity as an individual to reckon in this digital world. And it shows to the reader that I'm a serious player and I am here for business. I am here for long term. A Gmail or a Hotmail or a common mail is nothing here. What I'm saying is right or wrong. It is just that I feel appropriate. So I'm just highlighting for the benefit of everyone. So a formal email ID conveys a lot of message just by the email ID itself. The credibility increases. So I would strongly encourage all of us to use formal email ID, for our business. Then the next one, fifth one, a clean, sharp LinkedIn or any other relevant social media based on the prospects that you have chosen. So if the prospects chosen are, people who are going to be in different platforms, based on the prospects where they spend their time and where they search for solutions, it could be Facebook, Instagram, Tinder, whatever, right? So whichever social media that is going to be relevant for our prospects. If you are going to choose a prospects of doctors, for example, or lawyers, so you need to choose the media where they are spending their time. Yeah, not necessarily, in LinkedIn or any such places. So you can create a sharp profile, whichever social media that you think is relevant for the prospect. We need to be there and visible. In due course, we will be more visible. Yeah. And we will be putting blogs, videos, etc., that we will discuss more on our third session on 24th. So we need to be there where our prospects are. So here the message is we need to be there where our prospects are active. And we need to be seen. And we need to have a sharp profile, a very, very clear profile as to what to do and what they get if they come to us. And sixth, clean and clear, decent site. Why this is important? This is important because digital is a kind of second nature in today's world. Even references, when my clients or somebody close to me refer someone else, the first thing that they do when they have access to internet is going and checking my digital presence. So everyone tends to check our digital presence, whichever way, whichever channel we get the leads. So when we have a decent website, when a clear, decent website, not overdoing anything and not an information overdo, and a clear, easy to navigate kind of website, it increases the credibility and the reliability quotient. Because when you have a lock visible, it is a secured website, very important that we just, our service provider may be just registering the website. That is not good enough. It needs to be secured. For that, we need to pay separately. And when you browse, a lock will be visible before our website link. So this is important because that shows that we are careful about our security and the people visiting the site. And it increases the credibility, as I said, and the reliability quotient keeps adding. When you have an email ID, formal email ID, you have a clear social media presence, you are not a fly-by-night kind of, and you are present and you are visible, and you have a decent website. So step by step, this increases your credibility and the reliability quotient. Unknowingly, unconsciously, it keeps increasing in the minds of the lead. This is an unconscious process. They check there, they go there, they come here, and unknowingly, unconsciously, the reliability, the trust, everything builds. This is very intangible, and this happens through a process. And the people observe, anyone who is going to spend a penny on this, they are going to observe, interpret, perceive the investments and the seriousness with which you are operating, the commitment that you are going to show as a coach, and the commitment that you are already showing as a coach. So a formal email ID, a digital presence, spending some time there in the digital way, because you need to have push and pull, as we discussed in the session 1. So the pull is possible only when we do these things. Then only the strangers start believing you before they come to you that you are a real person, you are a genuine person, you are an authentic personality. Yeah. And while at this, ICF also provides a website creator, or where we can build a website free of cost for the ICF members. So you can check it out, how it is and whether it serves your purpose. Then the next item, Shanti, the how part I am going one by one. Am I okay? Are we okay? Yeah,
we are absolutely okay. People, if you've got questions, you can ping in the chat, raise your hand. I already have some questions, but you can continue and wrap up this section before I ask.
Sure. A couple of more points. Some basic stationery. This is required for sending out the proposal, creating the pitch deck and things like that. So you need to have some basic stationery, digital, definitely, because nobody deals in any physical document thanks to pandemic. So a decent basic stationery with your kind of letterhead and kind of, a PowerPoint template. And these are all possible, and your service provider, these all don't cost too much, in my view. It is just making sure that we are careful and we are serious about what we are doing. And this is what you are going to, this is the perception that you are going to create in the minds of the reader when you do all this. Choose some colors, choose some fonts, stay with it, because it creates a recall over time. Just to tell you, if you visit pknarayanan.com for that matter, or any of my presentations or any of my articles and any of the images that I use anywhere, it will have only 3 colors: black, white, gray, and blue, glacier blue. That is denoting the glaciers of Gangotri in Ganges, as in Gangotri, the river Ganges. So this is consistent right from 2003, from my consulting days. So when I moved from consulting to coaching, visually people didn't see much of a difference, because my website looked same colors. Content was absolutely different. Content was totally different, but still the look and feel, the black, white, and gray. And even in my attire, it is black, white, and gray. And the website, my models, and I have a scale-up model, I have a leadership presence model, all of that is available in my website. So you will generally see only these colors. Why this? This might be interpreted as a constraint, or is it a rule? I would say rules are good. Rules are good. They are liberating. because you don't have to keep on revisiting those things. Rules are set. It is liberating you to do other things well, right? So rules are liberating. So I love that. So basically, for example, my kind of blue is an RGB 117, 197, 240. This prescription is given to me. I'm not an expert in colors, but I make sure that everything that I produce or I produce through anyone aligns with this 117, 197, 240. And today it is all hex codes. So you can create around 16.7 million colors out of this RGB equation, right? So create some colors for you. Apply it consistently everywhere, in the pitch deck, in site, in the letterhead, in the stationery, in your attire, if it is possible. A well-made, we are almost coming to an end of this section, how to create a successful business practice or how to build it step by step. A well-made profile doc, a profile document that is maybe half a page or 1 page about what you have done and what it is all about. Because the profiles more than that, people generally don't have the attention span to go through. That is my experience. And a pitch deck that is addressed, to the segment. Yeah, a pitch deck which is clearly articulating your value proposition, your offering, and if possible, your differentiators, and talking more about them and what they will get when they work with you, and not, please don't, I mean, in my way, I wouldn't encourage you to put anything relating to coaching in the pitch deck. No more explanation of what is the difference between coaching, counseling, consulting, etc. Because no one is interested to know that except coaching students. Now, the next is proposal and agreement formats. This is available in the ICF website. There are some agreement formats, but if you think it is too American, please write to me. I will share what I am using. So these proposals and agreements, etc., are very easy. You can get it done, not a big deal, but have it consistently applied. Even for a pro bono, have an agreement, because that is practicing. When we practice, we are likely to do it when it really requires. So create agreement formats, proposals, look like a business. This is what I'm encouraging with, encouraging you to do this. I'm just saying that look like a business, a matured business, And then the last point that I need to make before Shanti, we go to the next question of yours, is that start the blog, start podcasts, start videos, create videos. I mean, it is not our preference. That is the way people are consuming today content, and podcasts. I mean, it is not that I like doing podcasts, but my clients or my prospects are listening to podcasts. So I don't want to lose that presence, right? It is not our choice. It is not our choice. It is our prospect's choice that we need to serve. So in terms of content marketing, we will talk more about it next session. But here, fair enough to say that you need to start some blogging, sharing some ideas, some things that you stand for, something that your clients will get when they come to you, and in a way in which you can merge it and not looking salesy while doing that. And podcast videos, every section of society is consuming. Therefore, I am saying, irrespective of your prospects, whichever segment they belong to, probably they may be consuming some content in a particular way. You need to service that. So we will discuss about that more, but here, just to capture that content marketing aspect of how to do or how to build a coaching business.
Thanks, PK. I think very clearly articulated 10 steps. I see a question from Aparna, and Lovely, I think, has put a +1 to that. What should the profile doc contain? What are the essentials to include in a profile doc?
No prescription as such. Best practices. We can take some of the profile docs of famous personalities. It's all available in the public domain, and make one of ours. And generally, it needs to say where all you are present. So your presence in the digital world, whether it is a blogging site or your podcast, your YouTube, your any other presence that you have in the website, in Facebook, LinkedIn, all those, that needs to be there, all of them. because we don't know what is the prospect's way of accessing you about you. So you put all of that and briefly mention whatever you have done in the life, and you can even put what you are looking for, because in my profile I have put what Shanti read out last time, that my mission is to touch 1 million lives through coaching and making more people to reach more people through my coachees touching more lives and things like that. So you can definitely put some of what you are looking for, why you exist, why you are looking, why you are doing coaching, and for this particular prospects. So that kind of a mission is there in the profile in my case. And what is my strengths, and what interests me, and what are my non-profit activities. All of this is there, and of course my touring with PK, my other side of my travel, and the large part of, and where I have more people following me. So all of this is there in my profile, and it is 3/4 of a page.
Thanks, PK. Thanks. PK, in the steps you mentioned about differentiators, any guidance about how we can go about identifying what are our differentiators? What if I have a differentiator that does not resonate with my clients? So anything that you would want to add in this space?
A differentiator that doesn't resonate with, to answer your second question, a differentiator that doesn't really matter to our prospects is not of much use. So we need to highlight things that really matter to them, and which aligns with our prospects and prospect solutions. Now, coming to how to find a differentiator, check around. Because I got this simplifying as a differentiator, because most of my peers and my bosses in my working days, they all felt that when they come to me, they go back with very light, lightweight, with the very heavy heart that they come in. Not because I am emotionally answering them, but just unpacking their complexity step by step, and things, maybe not even step by step. It is not a sequential activity. It is just cutting. Somebody in our last session in another forum, they said that how to eat an elephant, by piece. So somehow that comes naturally to me. So I understood this late 90s, that I have an ability to simplify. I started reading more about simplifying. I started reading more about how to simplify. So I accentuated my strength very consciously. So it was like talent being developed by practice. So you can check out what is, and many people have told me, how are you able to focus? How are you able to focus kind of question? Many people started asking. Then I knew that I have that, probably that capability. So I started reading more about focusing, and I have definitely built upon and much informed about how I can do that more consciously. So the best way will be to check around, what you see differently able, and what you see speciality in me. I mean, Shanti, if you check with me, probably if I have interacted with you enough times, I will be able to highlight, I mean, you are so this, you are so that, and go with a few of that check around with people whom you know intimately, and whom who won't judge you and things like that. You just check around, what you see differently in me, and what is that you think I have the specialty? What is that I'm good at, according to you? What are my strengths? Straight questions.
Sure. Very helpful. Thank you.
And then invest in accentuating it. Because talent without practice is of no use.
Yeah. Thank you, PK. Selva, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So PK, I was looking for some more thoughts of yours on this whole positioning of solution combination with clarifying offerings. What is that? If you could talk to us more about that.
See, the offerings probably over a period of time, first 3 years, I still was in scale up in my practice. But 2016, I created a scale up model. And in 2016, again, I created another leadership presence model. And today, I have only 2 products in coaching. So if you go to the website, you will see, rather than explaining about that here, probably you go to the website. I will encourage you to just understand how to productize. I worked with a coach. I worked with a coach to productize my offerings in that time, 2015, 16. And, it has paid me rich dividends because I can connect with the prospects very quickly. And prospects understand what they get 60 to 70% before we even meet. And they know exactly what they are going to get before they meet me. So my chemistry sessions are only to convert the balance. And we don't explain, I no more explain what I do to any of the prospects, thanks to this product, which are self-explanatory and which are there. Of course, they will ask questions about it to know about it more, and I'm willing to answer. So the productization is in that sense. Coaching is not a product. So this is what we all need to understand. Coaching is only a method. Coaching is only a tool. Coaching is not a product, right? Coaching is not a solution. Coaching is only a method to find solution. Yeah, are you with me, Shelva?
Yes, PK.
So we need to offer more than coaching to find attraction with the prospects. For them to gain confidence that this person seems to be an expert in this area. That is through your digital and other presence and what you are and what you have done so far. We discussed at length in the session 1. Even after that, to come to you for coaching generally, people would find it very, very, very difficult to come to you for coaching, just like without knowing what you are offering. So you need to highlight which are the areas that you can help them, and which are the areas that they can find solutions through coaching. So it requires a bit of examination, a bit of practice, a bit of experience. You will keep on fine-tuning it. So what you see in the website now is an accumulation of my practice for 11th year. So it doesn't appear this way on day 1. And that doesn't mean we shouldn't be on that path. We need to be on the path. We need to keep on fine-tuning what is the product that we need to do. For example, leadership presence. Already they are leaders. Already they are CXOs. Already they are CEOs. But they can enhance their leadership impact by strengthening their leadership presence. Last time, Shanti asked leadership coaching. I don't do leadership coaching. I do only leadership presence coaching. So leadership presence is one of the aspects of overall leadership. So if they are going to enhance other parts of leadership, I refer other coaches. I don't do it. So if only they want to enhance their presence as a leader, I work with them. That is the product I'm talking about. So when you productize, when you start interacting with the segment, you will get to know how to productize your thing. And it's a process. It will take some time, and it's going out of comfort zones. And you may work with a coach to find that. So it will evolve. It will evolve as you go. But to begin with, we need to be clear. What are we offering?
Okay. So just
Not
so that
coaching.
I'm clear.
Yeah, not coaching. Coaching is not an offering.
Okay. So just so that I'm clear, so PK, you're saying that first find the target segment,
Yeah,
and then work out within that what is your product offering, right?
yeah.
For instance, in your case, it is about enhancing your CXO's leadership presence.
Yes.
That is that right? So is this
Yeah.
same as offering? The whole positioning of solution and offering are interchangeable here, or are they uniquely different?
Positioning is about the segment. Offering
Okay.
is specific product that they can come to you for.
Okay. And in your case, you mentioned the 2 productization you made.
Yeah.
No?
The other is scaling up businesses who are between 20 to 200 crores, wanting to go 5x, 10x.
Okay.
That is
Thank
my
you.
business coaching. That is my
Mhm.
business coaching. Yeah, 80% of my coaching happens there.
Thank you. I had a question around brand name. If I'm allowed, I can ask this now, or I can wait for later.
Up to Shanti.
Brand, are we talking more about branding next time?
No. We covered brand name as part of the list today. Brand name was one of that. I wanted a quick clarification about.
Go
In
ahead.
my case,
Yeah, keep it short. Go ahead.
yeah, sure. In my case, PK, I'm already running a podcast by Flourish, by that name. Several things happening around Flourish. Although I see the potential and the promise of having a personal name-oriented brand. let's say Selva the coach, some kind of tone right now, because I've invested some amount of energy. There is some brand visibility already in the name of Flourish. But I want to go on the personal brand name route as well. What's your suggestion for me?
Yeah, we need to examine that a bit more. Many podcasts, for example, channels are, in the name of a neutral name, for example. Many famous podcasters are doing it. We might, podcast is one aspect. I don't think podcast or a video YouTube channel should, should determine what your decision, whether to go in your person name or whatever. So you need to look at it from a business and prospects, what they will find more attractive. That should be the consideration, more of the weightage for deciding whether to go on a personal name or a brand name. And then we can decide what the podcast we should do about. So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that what should influence your decision, I would feel, should be more of what gels with the prospects for your main coaching offering. Yeah. So for the main coaching offering, what will go long term, that should be the consideration or the criteria for deciding whether to go in personal name or a official name. Podcasts and other things are all in the frill. So you need to finalize the frock first, and then you can decide on the frills.
Thank you, PK. Thank you so much.
Thanks, PK. We've got a question from Sridhar. Should each of us take on a personal coach? If we see the value of what we are trying to pitch, we should have a coach. Agree? And that's where he has a question mark. I'm so tempted to say yes, but yeah, you please respond.
Yeah, you have said already.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Ajit, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, PK, for this session. Wonderful. The question I had was, how important is it to have a specific programs on your coaching proposal or productization of that? Like I see several of them making program specific coaching and not just one-on-one coaching per se. So like on your website, also there are 2 programs, or you may call it product that you mentioned. Like that, I see a lot of coaches come up with these programs, and then what I think is therefore proposed is that people sign up for that program, which is a minimum of 6 to 8 or 12 coaching sessions. So how important is that? And that goes a little bit, another route of one-on-one coaching, right?
Yeah, so it's one-on-one coaching, Ajit. So all these programs, I don't do any team coaching at all. So okay. I do only 100%. These programs or product is also to show them that this is the best, possible structure for our engagement. Is it written on stone? It is written on wood, if not stone. Okay. So unless there is a pressing reason to change it, we won't change it, because we have seen it working. That is the proposal we are putting forward. We can put the coaching conversation on the client, but what is needed to find solutions in a segment, and what we need to make some judgment, because otherwise the ticket size cannot be finalized. What I mean by ticket size is that if you have 4 into per session cost or per session price is ticket size. So we are going to discuss about this more on session 4. But here to tell you that you need to give certainty to the client. The client is wanting certainty as to what this looks like, what is the program structure, what is that I need to commit, right? Whether it is a company or a person sponsoring himself. Yeah. So here the program is that my scale up for CEOs of SMEs, that is having turnovers of 20 to 200 crores, wanting to go 5 to 10x, which they decide all of that. They decide all of that because it is their life and their journey. And that program is 16 sessions over 180 days. So why this 180 days and 16 sessions? Because that is what, as a positioning that I have done. Okay. And if, is it written on stone, more or less on soft stone or a hard wood? Because they won't know what they are looking for, right? And it is a product. When I say a product, it is a product. Only the method is coaching. And the 6 sessions, I do some 7 sessions. I do sometimes 9 sessions also. Now I have going on 2 clients who is 7 sessions. 7 sessions is my normal one, leadership presence. So I need to say 6 sessions. So there is one client who is 6 sessions and another client who is 9 sessions, because they didn't want to run the entire 16 session agenda. So they chose that can we do this and this alone. So very rarely in that case, because they are already there with the other 2, we agreed we will do a 9 session. So that is why I said it is wood, but it is never in water. It is not written in water.
Thank you, PK.
Love that analogy, PK. PK, my next question that comes to me is, as a new business, what do I do to get my first few clients?
What do I do for getting my first clients? First and foremost, I would say from network and known sources. All of us have put in some years in this world and we have our own network with whatever we have done so far. So we need to ping them, we need to send them something, and whoever we all will have, depending on the roles that we have done and the kind of life that we have led, we will have enough number of network known sources in work, outside work, all that. So pinging them and telling them that I have embarked on this journey. I can create a difference to this community, this segment. I can create a difference through coaching to these people. So who are struggling with this, I can work with them, and there is a very high chance they find solutions. Do you know someone looking for this? Yeah, without shame. So there is no shame in marketing and sales. I don't know whether I have said this earlier, but there is no shame. There is no shame in marketing and sales. So we need to ask, and we need to ask, and we need to ask. Especially we need to ask for help. We need to ask for help. And 99 out of 100 times we get it. So work from network or known sources, just telling them, even meeting them, telling them this is what I'm going to do. I am investing my life behind this. Do you know somebody in this segment, somebody looking for this? Please refer me. So this is the lowest hanging fruit. Yeah. The next is friends, right? Friends. So friends also know, and they also have their own networks. So the next lowest hanging fruit will be our friends. Catch up with them, tell them, I have started on a journey. This is my business. I want to make a change. This is why I said in the positioning statement, we need to choose a segment that is close to our heart. If emotionally we are not connected to the segment that we are working in, it is difficult to sustain this. It is difficult to persist. Yeah, this connection is the cause for persistence, or all those things to emerge. Therefore, with the friends, when we talk about, they need to know, they need to see your interest, right? If you are not connected, they won't see it. And that interest that you are investing your life and your energies in such a cause will make them refer you somebody if they know. So in their own network, they also have network, not friends network. Friends network, you will ask me, you will access yourself, the common friends and so on. But they also have a network. So we need to ask them, can you help me through your network? If they have somebody known to them for this, can you refer them? Yeah. And the third is a referral from our own clients. It could be pro bono or it could be paid clients. So in my case, I have 7 sessions, for example, leadership presence. In 6th sessions, I send them a questionnaire. You can say it is something tuned towards a testimonial, but it is not testimonial. I don't ask for testimonial. So I send some questions to know how they were and what is that value that they have got, what is the solutions that they have got and what are they doing differently. It is also a reflection point. So around 70-75% when you have 5 or 6 sessions, depending on the progress, you ask them for that. At that time, you ask a question: would you refer me to someone else? Yeah. So why at the end of 5th session or at the end of latest by 6th session I do it is that still I have 2 sessions to manage. So I can plan my last 2 sessions according to the answers that they are giving, in terms of their own progress and their own think and their own reflections that come as part. I can on one-on-one, probably if you need to know more about this, I am available. So this, one of the questions that I ask at that time is that, what would you like to tell to people with similar requirements? Yeah. So it is a question asking whether they will refer me or not. So I take that answer and keep it. And most of them so far have responded yes. After our sessions are all over, I ask them for reference.
Yeah. If
So
they've said yes,
I really
possibly
ask them,
you'll
do you
get,
know
yeah.
someone similar, asking or looking for help? Yeah, I ask for reference from my clients. Yeah. So that is the next lowest possible, for hanging fruit, if you were to look at it that way. Then you get leads through LinkedIn, you get leads through social media influence. That's why we need to be active, because today everyone consumes digital content. So you need to be there where you think is relevant to your segment. And the digital leads, then SEO, search engine optimization. Once you have exhausted all these areas, you will move to a search engine optimization and you start getting more leads. And you will start digital ads if it applies. I don't do any digital ads because that doesn't work with my clientele, my prospects. So, but there are coaches who are doing it successfully. So I need to flag that also as a lead generator at a later stage, but not to begin with, according to me. So in this sequence, if you go, I think digital ads will come at the last. So this is how you get first few clients, but I extended it to some more. But the first few clients, to repeat: 1, our own network, our own known sources, ask for it. 2nd, ask for referrals from our clients, our friends. And 3rd, ask for referrals once we pick up few clients through clients. And then consistently be there in a social media, LinkedIn, or right from now. So that over a period of time, it takes some time. It's like a diesel engine start. It takes some time to, get in and establish yourself as an expert in LinkedIn or any other social media forum. So start yesterday.
Okay. Start yesterday. Hear you loud and clear. Aparna has a question in the chat. Is it good to include testimonials and or client reference experiences in the profile document?
In profile, it will be an overdue because we don't even know what they want. So in a profile, keep it as it is. But additional documents, yeah, it's a good idea to keep it, so that when the contact is established and the next question, when they ask, you can send those things as credentials.
Thank you. People feel free to put up your hand or put your question. In the meanwhile, my next question to you, PK, is what key challenges have you faced as you were setting up your business? What can you share that we can learn from?
Shanti, I have a question on the chat for later.
I think Kamal has answered that, Selva.
Okay, let me look at it. Thanks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to see anything as a challenge. It's all that we don't know how to overcome that. That's all. I have never seen things as challenge, and nothing has actually occurred to me that way, as a showstopper or being stuck and all that. I hear that from a lot of coaches, but I have not experienced any of that. Maybe that I prepare well and I do a bit of background things, and definitely when I moved from consulting to coaching, the 13-14, that was the transition year. Up to 2012 December, I was doing consulting, and 13 January I started coaching, and I mean absolutely drew the shutter on consulting business. I started referring it to other consultants. So in 13 14, my revenues were less than 11 and 12. But by 15, I started earning more, and now definitely it is more. And I had not faced any problem with not having any. The certain months will be dry, and certain months or a couple of months will be absolutely dry. Even now, I won't get any fresh leads for a month or 6 weeks, etc. But it will ease out itself if we are at it. You know, whether I mean, my efforts are not based on how many leads I get. My efforts are not based on how many conversions I have. I keep investing in what I have proven, what helps. I really focus on the process. You know, the blogs, the sharing of articles, videos, the podcasts, and whatever that, keeping in touch with all the people that have not converted. I am in touch with everyone who have not converted. My conversion ratio is just 10-12%, meaning 10 people come in, 1 or 2 people sign up. Mostly because of fees, they defer. But they defer, I tell you, because after 2-3 years they come. I have had such instances, you know, because on the investment or the fee, I don't negotiate. Therefore, what happens? It will fall for the time being, but they are in my broadcast list. All of them are in my broadcast list. They get a WhatsApp 2 times a week from me. And these are all, you know, things that I share, which is of absolute value, even to the clients, and to them, the same broadcast goes. So it is immense value that they get just by staying engaged with me, not paying me a rupee. But I have had instances after 3-4 years, people have come back and paid and done coaching with me. So there is a lot of investment required, not in terms of hard money, but in terms of our effort. So we need to be scrupulously focused on process, and we shouldn't look for process alteration very, very soon. I wouldn't say we need to be patient, but we shouldn't be impatient. Yeah. So we need to give it anything that we do, we need to give a little bit time, because in this world, it takes a bit time to get noticed and, you know, get our foot in balance. Therefore, focus on the process. Challenges will come, but you will probably find ways and means to overcome that. This is my experience.
Sure. Very related question. I'll ask that before I go to Selva's question. This is from Shikha. If we don't have a strong network of our own target segment we have chosen to work on, then how do we get clients?
Then you need to prove doubly sure why you have chosen that target segment. Because getting first few clients from absolute strangers is very, 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 very difficult. Therefore, the target segment should also be, that is why I said familiarity of the terrain, familiarity of the target segment is required, would be my answer at this point in time. And unless there is a very strong reason why that target segment, and you will get few first clients from that target segment for some reason other than you knowing the network. There should be some other source or some other channel where you will get first few clients without your network, without your friends, or without any such support. Then that target segment will grow if you have such a strong channel. This is not all. What I mentioned is not 100% of things. There could be things that exist beyond this. So if there is one of them that will give you first few clients, why not? Definitely you can have them as a target segment.
Thanks, PK. PK, Selva has a question around your productization, the 16 sessions that you mentioned. She's asking, are these more like a program plan with a specific outcome, unlike an open-ended coaching session where the client brings in the challenge and we work through that as a coach?
Yeah, it is not a training plan kind of a thing. It is not a program to that extent. But there will be mild, there will be some indicators, the North Star they decide. So that is why I said some want to grow 3 times in 3 years. Some want to grow 5 times 5 years. We will have a conversation around that, and 3.1 will be decided after that. Meta 3.1 I'm talking about. So there will be exploration. There will be a reality check. There will be a dipstick. What should be Meta 3.1, and based on that we move afterwards. But what are the areas to travel, org structure and reviews and things like